Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt with 1836 Property Management in beautiful Austin, Texas. Today we're going to talk about using advancements in technology to effectively manage your rental property. Given today's environment, you have to be on the cutting edge, especially with the pandemic in 2020. If you're not able to manage your rental properties remote, you're in trouble. The old school way was to deal with people in person, to have agents, to drive around, to show 20 houses. That's no longer the case. So you've got to be able to manage even during a pandemic. Let's go over some of the things that we use at 1836 to make this happen. Pre-qualification and self-showing software. Easy for you to say, huh? Pre-qualification and self-showing software. Tenant Turner is one of the softwares we use. They provide remote lock boxes and also a series of online or through text message qualifying steps. So let's say we get an inquiry from a tenant. We definitely do call them back, but in the meantime, they can actually receive text messages from Tenant Turner which say, what property are you looking for? What are your move-in dates? We've even added questions on there for pre-qualification related to financial matters and COVID, so that we know that anybody reviewing these properties has checked that they've not had COVID or been exposed to it in so many days. So those are some of the benefits of that self-showing software. We've also had properties that have been sanitized for viewing, and we even have chatbots and artificial intelligence on our website. So not only will they find us online through syndication, but if they even just go to the 1836 PM website, they can enter in information with the chatbot and it will start a conversation with them. It will text message them not only to get them into the houses to troubleshoot and to follow up, but also to ask them for feedback on your property. Yes, we do self-showing boxes. These came about years ago. The old school way of doing things was through an MLS box with an agent. That's no longer an option during the pandemic. Also, it slows down the process, and I've got to tell you, tenants don't come back days later because they just missed that special home. They go out one or two times, they pick the best home, and they're moving on. They're dating these properties, they're renting them, they're not marrying them or buying them. So the decisions are much quicker, and if they can't get in your home when they want to get into it, on the day and time they want to get into it, they're moving on and you've lost them. Those self-showing boxes have enabled us to do that over the years. We were not the earliest adopter on those, but we watched the research come in. The number of incidents were almost zero. So we've moved toward that platform, and it has been night and day difference, especially in these tough times. Background screening and applications. AccuTrack is the company we currently use. We've set our own criteria. We've honed that criteria over the last 15 years, and I've got to tell you, even during the worst of the pandemic, the maximum number of tenants that we had outstanding was less than 2%. Show me that for most management companies, even without a pandemic, and I'll be impressed. Criteria is no joke that we use, and we don't vary from it. But everybody that we put in your property, we also stand behind. Let's talk about payment processing and online portals. Everything we do is electronic nowadays, so bringing checks to the office isn't going to cut it, especially in these times. So we can accept payments through the EFT or ACH payment system online. We even disperse to owners, so the money goes directly into your bank account. No more going to the mailbox, getting a check. Even if you do scan it, it's still an extra headache. None of our owners do that, and none of our tenants do as well. If people want to apply for our properties, they can do it online 24/7. Buildium is our go-to software for this, and they've been a trusted partner based out of Boston in the United States for years. Lockbox integration. That lockbox that we discussed earlier with Tenant Turner integrates into our software, so everything is cohesive at all times. The tenants know what's going on, and so do we, and those self-showings are just almost mandatory nowadays. Let's talk about viewing the properties on a so often basis. Some companies do this too much, some do too little. The owners want us to live with the tenants never want us to come see the property. The middle ground we've come to is every spring and fall, we walk through every single property in our inventory. Physically walk through the property. Not ask the tenant to send us a video and hide the bad stuff, but we walk in to make sure there's not a meth lab, to make sure there's no pets on there, to look for damage on the house, even from normal wear and tear, because the tenants don't always report things. Sometimes they think that reporting that leak is going to cause their rent to go up, so they don't say anything, and it costs you more in the long run. So we walk through every home in our inventory every spring and every fall. We got a customized software called Snap Inspect we use for that. We've spent months kind of honing the process so that we can get it down, and we can even, starting in 2020, send owners PDFs with photos of their own property at a pretty inexpensive price for sending a human all the way across town, scheduling it and following up. Team remote work and communication. So I think everybody in the US now has gotten down to where they're doing Zoom meetings or something like that consistently. Our ecosystem at 1836 is based in Google. So we not only use the Gmail features, but the Google Hangouts has been something instrumental to us. So we use chat features for inter-office chat, but we also use the Google Hangouts. And if you need to connect with your property manager, or we need to connect with a tenant and see something visual, we can do that even on the fly on our phone. But that's where our meetings are now, since we're not able to meet in person all the time, and we're actually able to record those for anybody that can't attend. On the website, we have one more thing that's a little bit unusual, but really pretty great, and that's that chat bot I discussed earlier. I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but interacting with that thing is 24/7. It records phone numbers, it records conversations, and we can even follow up after a showing and say, hey, what did you think? Give us some feedback. No one's doing that if a human is making those calls. It's simply too expensive. So our responsibility as your property manager is to use the best technology, software, and systems to safely, effectively, and now virtually manage our clients' properties. We're making it happen here in Austin, Texas. If you'd like to read a little bit more information about this, check out our blog entitled Using Advances in Tech to Safely, Effectively, and Virtually Manage Your Investment Property. Or give us a call. We're here for you all the time in beautiful Austin, 512-994-4323. Thanks for your time.